Right. I mean, there's a good reason and a bad reason to cut rates. Let's hope it's the good reason. The bad reason would be if the economy were to roll over into a recession, in which case the Fed could cut very quickly. If it's cutting in order to normalize policy, that would be a huge and very, very welcome development. In that case, what it might do is say, hey, inflation has come down to a place where we feel confident it's headed to 2%. Notice that I'm making this comment that the Fed would be cutting before it's at 2%. It wouldn't have to get to 2% in order to cut rates, but it would say it's heading down to 2%. We feel confident it's heading down that way. We feel we can ease up on policy. Otherwise, we will become more restrictive. We want to normalize policy. Remember, Tyler, their long run rate is 2.5% on a nominal basis. So the Fed would have quite a long way to go to get to normal policy, and quite a lot of distance between the 2.5 and the 5.38 where it is right now.
So just to wrap it up here, Julia, you think we're in that soft landing now, and we don't get materially softer? In other words, the economy doesn't get materially softer, or do you think it will?
There are risks on both sides of this. I think the same forces that delivered better than expected growth are still intact. That is better productivity numbers, the economy, better labor supply. I think these things have legs and can continue into 2024 and keep us in the soft landing environment. On the other hand, there are lags in monetary policy. Rates are very high, money's very tight. We could start to see that bite in business investment, in spending on consumer durables. The housing market is still in a deep freeze. That's not a sign of a healthy economy. So there are, I think, risks on both sides of the outlook, but we're reasonably optimistic that we can. The good news is the Fed has ammo.
Yeah.
If we do hit a patch that's much more worrisome, they can cut rates, not even slash them to zero, just cut rates 100 basis points. If we uninvert the yield curve, that can really be a positive tailwind for growth in the
Steve, did you want to squeeze in a final thought?
Yeah, I wanted just to compliment Julia and her thinking about this, because when I read her notes, I thought that's a really original thought, thinking that we keep thinking we're still in this process of getting to the soft landing. The idea that we're in the soft landing changes the way you might think about the future, in that there's another cycle to come here. We keep waiting for the cycle, but maybe it's here.
We're in it.
And then Julia also underscores my great fear of living through great times and not noticing it.
All right, Steve, a great point. Great thought on which to end. Steve Leisman, Julia Coronado, thank you very much.